Does God really care about what is going on in my life? That's a question that probably many of us have asked at one point or another. And it's an important question, and it's a really honest question. And that's the question that I want us to consider as we look at Psalm chapter 4 today on Real Short Talks with Ryan. And today, maybe more than other days, we're talking about that experiencing Him, right? My goal here is so that we would encounter God, experience Him, and then engage with His mission. And that encounter normally refers to some knowledge that we need. What can we learn about God? And that engage obviously involves our hands. What can we go do to serve the Lord? But that experience is important, right? It's how the knowledge that we have gets translated to our hands. And that is what we feel in our heart. There's something that we need to feel in our heart. And the answer to this question, does God really care about what's going on in my life? It's something that we have to feel more than we know. Because if you've been around church for any length of time, you probably know that the answer is yes. The Lord cares about what's going on in my life. I hope that you have heard that. And if you've never heard that before, let me tell you right now, yes, the Lord does care about what is going on in your life. But sometimes even David, as connected with the Lord as he was, he still wonders, right? Psalm chapter 4, verse 1, "Answer me when I call, O God of my righteousness. You have given me relief when I was in distress. Be gracious to me and hear my prayer." He has to remind himself of this, right? Because he's in a moment where he feels like, does God really care? And he goes, yes, look at all of the ways that He has cared before. Look at all the ways that He has given me relief before. This wasn't just a knowledge thing for him. This was something that he experienced. He could remind himself. He could look back on his story and remind himself of all of the ways before that God had delivered him, that God had provided for him in his life. And that's what we need. We need to understand as we are walking through things, because some of us are walking through some incredibly hard things. I know you are. And you ask yourself, does the Lord really care? If the Lord really cared, I wouldn't be walking through this. But that's the wrong way to look at it. The Lord does care, but you are not walking through it alone. The Lord walks through these things with us. He promises to be with us. Skip down to verse 6, and he says, there are many who say, who will show us some good? Man, where's the good, Lord? Where's the good? And this is what David says. He says, lift up the light of your face upon us, O Lord. Lord, show us your presence. Lord, be with us. Let us experience you more and know that you are with us. He says, you have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound. He says, Lord, it's better to be with you. It's better to be known by you than it is to have many material things. He says, in peace I will both lie down and sleep. Why? Because I trust you, Lord. You can trust that the Lord is with you, that the Lord really cares about your life, that He really has a plan and a purpose for your life. Don't just know it. I want you to experience that. Look and see how the Lord is with you. Even when it seems like He isn't, even when it seems dark, I promise you the Lord is with you. The Lord really does care about your life. Hey, thanks for joining me for another Real Short Talk with Ryan. We'll see you back next week. Until then, go glorify His name.